Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all the property investors out there. Today, I'm super excited to share with you that the biggest launch of 2021, Normanton Park, is finally launching. Yes, for those of you who have no idea or never heard of Normanton Park, it is a 1,800 unit located around the Cambridge Hill area. And just a disclaimer, I'm buying it myself as well. Yes, so today I'd just like to share with you my research and my insights and why I think it is a good buy, and I decided to go into it. Alright, so if you have not heard of Normanton Park, maybe let me just share with you a bit about the history of Normanton Park first. Okay, it was officially opened, back then in April 1978 by Mr. Goh Keng Swee, the former Prime Minister of Singapore. So it was actually meant for SAF officers, okay, because the government want to provide a low-cost condominium-like housing for them. And then it was finally privatized in 1993. The thing about Normanton Park is that the land is so huge. It even has its own supermarket, hairdresser, bookstore. It's like a city within its own, you see. So, and then back then there's only 400 units. Can you imagine the amount of space one person gets? Yeah. And then it finally got en bloc in 2018. So we have a lot of sentimental owners. They even keep all the bricks, road signs. I know, it's a bit unbelievable, right? Yes. So, alright, now let's go down to the most exciting part of today's sharing, where I'll touch on the potential of Normanton Park, and more importantly, also the unique selling points, what makes Normanton Park stands out on its own compared to other developments in the market right now. If you have no idea where Normanton Park is, it's literally just right beside the Cambridge Park. The developer is going to have a side gate that links you directly to the Cambridge Park. How cool is that? Literally, the back of my mind, I can't think of how many developments are there that links you to a nature reserve or literally a hill. Yeah. So as you can see, Normanton Park is also located mainly around the One North Buona Vista area. It is very close to the CBD also, about 10 minutes drive, and Orchard is also about 10 minutes. Oh yes, one thing I think you would definitely ask me, so is it near any MRT? Sadly, no. But is it a concern for me? No as well. Because from my experience, I've personally seen a lot of developments that are not near MRT that is also very profitable as well. But of course, you need to have really good sustainable factors to back it up, which I can share with you later, and I will share with you also. So there's going to be shuttle bus definitely to Cambridge MRT. So it's about 3 minutes, and as you can see from here, it is also about 5 minutes to One North MRT and 6 minutes to Commonwealth. So it's actually quite well connected. It's also very close to a lot of malls. The biggest malls in Singapore, VivoCity, is about 9 minutes drive down south. Star Vista is just around the corner. And so, one very important question I usually like to ask my property investors: would you like to invest or buy in an area where there is a low demand of tenants, or is there a high demand of tenants? I think this is quite a no-brainer. Definitely, you definitely would want to buy in an area where there's high demand of tenants, right? Come to think about it, I also have some clients who believe in buying cheap and then selling cheap and also renting out cheap. Yeah. And usually these areas, they usually fall in areas which are not so convenient, and also maybe further away around the OCR area or the outskirts of Singapore. One thing I like to highlight to new investors or not so seasoned investors is that if you're buying a property for investment, one very important factor you need to take note is vacancy rate. Yes, so what is vacancy rate? Imagine if you buy cheap, you buy in the outskirts area, you rent, and you do not rent it out in the first month, you probably lose about 2,500, 3,000. Maybe I'm talking about one bedroom. And how about 2 months? 2 months is about close to 3,000 already. 2 months is close to 6,000. I'm sorry. Yes. So the typical rental yield in Singapore is about 2% to 4%. Okay. So imagine if you lose out 2 to 3 months of rental yield, your rental yield literally drops to around 2%. And then at the end of the day, you think to, and then maybe on the nights where you cannot sleep, you think to yourself, wow, my rental yield only 2%. I might as well put my money inside UOB Bank. At least I think the UOB one is giving you like 3% right now. Yeah. So check this out. This is Normanton Park. Right in front of you, you have the Science Park, Mediacorp, Fusionopolis, Biopolis, Metro Police. You can literally see a huge existing tenant pool right in front of you. Yes. And what is more exciting is that this area, if you are not familiar, is an area where all the tech firms, all the big, super big tech firms around the world, they are going to right now. If they were to come to Singapore, this is the area they are looking into. And all these are all backed by research already. And why are they coming to Singapore? Of course, this one I don't need to. This one is a very long topic. I think I will bore you. We all know how safe Singapore is, very easy to do business, corrupt free. So that's why they are coming. Yes, anyway, Shopee is part of C Limited, not part of Gurmit Singh. And they are one of the very renowned tech company around the world. I believe recently the founder recently won Entrepreneur of the Year award 2020 also. Yes. So, oh yes, did I mention Grab is going to have a new headquarter there as well in One North? See, even Grab is moving there. And yes, if you have been looking for a vacuum cleaner recently, you definitely heard of this brand called Dyson. Yeah, Dyson is a well-known brand from UK, and of course the owners also make a lot of headlines when they are here, when they purchase the most expensive penthouse in Singapore. Yeah. So other than all this MMC, maybe I'll touch a bit on tertiary schools as well. So we all know that this One North area is quite special, not only because of all these tech companies, but it is also proximity to a lot of really good schools. For example, like NUS, which is one of the top university around the world. Yeah. So, and from these numbers, you can see that there is at least about 100,000 numbers of staff and students. So this comprise of professors and overseas students, and this is important because these are your potential tenants, definitely. And then just a summary, Alexander Mapletree Business City is just around the corner from Cambridge Hill, and then you also have the One North Science Park. To summarize, let me give you some of the big names that is there. You have Google, you have Apple, Dyson already mentioned. So you can see all the big names companies, they're all around the corner. So you definitely have very, very not only high demand, but really good tenant profile, which is important. And another question I usually always like to ask my property investors, okay, would you like to invest in an area where there is an undersupply or oversupply, where you more or less you might have a lot of competition? I think this is also quite a no-brainer. You definitely want to invest in an area where you do not have so much competition, yet very high in demand. And from this leads me to this. My research shows that it makes me realize that there is only 4 condos in the Buona Vista and One North area. Yeah, and 2 of them is at least 20 years old. The other 2 at least 10 years old. Yeah, this explains why recently I did a rental in Rochester, a 1-bedroom around $3,000. Yeah, and mine is not even the highest. Somebody actually paid $3,500 for 1 bedroom in Rochester. Isn't it fantastic? So if we will take the cheapest unit in Normanton, let's say we take 799,000, okay, assuming 799, right? And then we were to rent it out at 3,000. The rental yield is about 4.5%. Isn't it fantastic? Yeah, a lot, right? that's why I'm so excited. No potential investment is complete without an actual transformation. Yeah, so if you have been in the market for at least a year, you probably heard of the Greater Southern Waterfront. Everybody is talking about it. Every single agent, whether near or not, they somehow relate. But or just last year, if you have watched National Rally, PM Lee was spent a good 8 minutes on National Rally talking about transforming the whole area. So what is this about? This is about, so the Greater Southern Waterfront is actually 6 times the size of Marina Bay. So along the whole stretch, they're gonna build residential and mixed commercial. So if you ask me, if you can't visualize, if you ask me what it looks like, at the back of my mind, this is what I can think of. Hong Kong. Yeah. We all know that Singapore, in terms of geographically, demographically, we are actually quite close to Hong Kong. So I'm not surprised that the government trying to move to another direction, replicating Hong Kong again. You just imagine this is Tsim Sha Tsui. If you have been to Hong Kong, you would know this area, they are super, super expensive. It is, which is a fact. So you just visualize 8 years, 10 years from now. This is really first mover advantage, right? Yeah, and of course, no research is complete without zooming into the master plan. As you can see, Normanton Park is here, and then I realized there's this plot of land, all blue color. Blue color, by the way, means commercial zone or commercially zoned. So a lot of this land, right, they are still subject to detailed planning, which also means in the future, right, there might be a lot more offices, more tech companies coming into One North. Yeah. And I personally believe that One North is the Silicon Valley of Singapore. Yeah. Trust me on that. Yeah. So we have talked so much about the potential. Now let me share with you another perspective. Now let's talk about the product itself. Now, what you see is the actual view. Okay, Normanton Park is right here. This is done by the developer. Okay, nowhere in Singapore, I have to reach. Nowhere in Singapore can you find a building with 360 unblocked view. Yet you not and some more it complements with sea view some more. This is the north facing, where you face all the business city, Fusionopolis, Mediacorp. Can you literally see how far the next building is? Isn't it amazing? And then, that's not even the most amazing part. By the way, if you're familiar with this area, you will know that there is a lot of conservation colonial house bungalows around this Cambridge area. So this area dates back to, I think, as far as Sir Thomas Stamford Raffles era. I don't think it's the Sanina Utama era. So you think about it, back then when these Englishmen, these high profile, high ranking officers, when they decided to build their houses, they specifically choose this area because I believe that it must be a really good area. You're up a slope, okay, you're up a hill, and then you're fronting the sea, you know. I mean, you can think about it, which part of Singapore actually fulfills such attribute, which also leads me to believe this is why they actually pick this area to build their bungalows and stay here. Okay, and of course this is still not the most fantastic point, the view for Normanton Park. Now check out the south. This is the view to die for. Yeah. Oh, by the way, all this industrial you are looking in front right now, right? They will be moved to Tuas in 2028. Yeah. So after that, you'll be just purely sea view, super awesome. Yeah. This also makes me come to think about it. The other day I was talking to my colleague. You see, usually a lot of these clients, they buy the East Coast, right? Okay, they buy the East is for the sea view, and then we have the other buyers who buy the Bukit Timah area for the greenery view. Okay, and then right here in Normanton Park, you get best of both worlds. Where else can you find? You get greenery and sea view. I mean, seriously, right? And then of course, last but not least, this will be the west view. Even the west, okay, even though we are facing Science Park, but you can see it's still unblocked. It's amazing, right? Yep, so these are the views that we saw just now as I was explaining to you. Now, because the developer hasn't really give out a lot of information, so this is what I'll be sharing with you today is what I have on hand. So as you can see, the one bedroom, they have about 414 units, 1 plus 30, 138 units. I personally believe the 1 and 2 bedroom will have no problem selling out. Yeah. Yeah, so until I have more information, I'll be happy to share more with you all. I think I'll probably do a part 2 of this. So this is the site plan. As you can see, not much information, but in the middle you can see a very huge pool. Okay, now let's come to the final part where I will show you some photos and perspective of the actual developments that I have on hand. As you can see right now, you can see that Normanton Park is literally 360 unblocked. Very awesome. And every block is very distant from each other and not directly facing each other. So this is another perspective. Oh yes, by the way, the pool in the middle, there is a 150 meters long pool that stretches from one end to another. And the whole development gives a very huge resort feel. So if you are a fan of this type of development, which I am, yep, you definitely don't want to miss this. Yep, another perspective. This is the grand entrance. Oh yes, there are also strata houses in this development. These strata houses, I believe, will move very fast also during balloting day. Oh yes, yeah, there are also commercial shops. So whether the shops are sold commercially or the developer wants to maintain it themselves, we have no information on that yet. So yeah, last but not least, this is the final image that we have. Right in front of Normanton Park, there is also another huge lake. Yeah, so a lot of water. So yeah, we have come to the end of my sharing. I hope you find my sharing useful. So maybe I think I'll probably do a part 2 when I receive more information, and I'll go into detail the site plan and which are the units I'll be buying for myself. Wait, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. If not, I will get a lot of competition. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, maybe see how lah. Yeah, so if you enjoy what you've been seeing so far, don't forget to click the like button and the red button there to subscribe, so that you'll be notified when the part 2 video is ready. And also feel free to, if you have any question, feel free to leave a comment in the comment box below. I promise I would try to answer all your questions if I have the time. Yep. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you soon. See ya.